The sun striking the River Nile signals the dawn of a new day. The Basketball Africa League opens day 4, and tantalizing fixtures lie ahead. The Ghanaian champion SLAC taking on the Mozambican champions Ferroviario de Beira. The Seidu Athletic Club has had a bit of a rest since their opening loss against the Cape Town Tigers, and for Ferroviario de Beira, they are down 0-2, and then Guinea Conakry SLAC looking to pick up the first win in this competition. Let's have a look at the starting five.
Looking at the starting five, Uchenna, Iroigba, Emeka, Nwabuzo, who's averaging 11 points per game in this incredible Nile Conference. And in comes Ismail Konde, who replaces Cedric Burfield, who's struggling with a knee injury to his right knee. And Maburu Mara, Dan Anthony Miller Jr.
You have to claw and fight for every win in the Basketball Africa League, and Ferroviario de Beira up against it. This is the starting five Coach Luis Hernandez has gone with.
It is an unchanged five for Coach Luis Hernandez, Ismail Nugmande, Najil Yang, Maktagaye, the Senegalese Will Perry, and Burma Sidibe. Looking great for the Mozambican champions. They're looking for that first victory. It's going to be interesting how what attitude they come into this game against SLAC.
Before we get this one tipped off, court side is Mr. Robbie Noggin. Robbie, the tension certainly palpable.
Yeah, palpable, very exciting showdown, a dogfight basically. Victory is imminent, is needed for one of these two teams tonight. It's going to be very, very, very hot out there tonight, Hugh.
Well, the matchups are set. We're looking at where this game could be won. Ishmael Nimamarde has a role to play, and so does Konde. Dane Miller Jr. has been spoken about extensively before the tip-off, and we are underway. Ferroviario de Beira at SLAC in this tantalizing BAL fixture. First steal, and Najil Yang gets right into space. Nice pick up and read as Iriegbo just trying to find his way. And that was a little bit of a slow start for Coach Zicevic and SLAC.
Yeah, a lot is at stake for the Ghanaian champions. They've had more rest than Beira, who were up against Petro de Luanda yesterday. They are in fine form. It will be good to see what attitude they bring into this game.
Drive, and Konde up close range, no good. It's the rebound is picked up by Najil Yang. Najil Yang has grown in confidence for this Beira team. Nimamade driving baseline, first two. Lovely baseline drive and quick finish for Ishmael Nimamade.
It's a beautiful finish. He saw some space, he took it, took a bet on himself, and straight to the basket. Easy 2 points for Ferroviario de Beira.
Iroegbo, wide open shot. Mara is wide left. The rebound into the hands of Will Perry. Perry gonna try and push the tempo again. It's up quickly to Nimamade, and he's into contact. And first foul, Konde caught just with on the back foot on the defensive end.
Looking at Nimamade, he's really asking the right questions. He's been incredible for Beira so far. They've not been able to get that victory that they've been looking for since day one of this Nile Conference. But just thinking about his growth in the past 3 years and seeing how he's coming alive here in the Nile Conference is making so many people proud back home in Mozambique.
He's one of 5 players that average 20-plus minutes for Coach Luis Hernandez. He trusts the starting 5 in terms of his rotation, and so Nimamade averaging 13.5, leading scoring here for Ferroviario de Beira in 2 games. Perfect from the line, and it's a good start for the Mozambican champions.
And looking at the face there of Luis Hernandez, Spanish coach, spent so many years coaching at home before coming out to Mozambique, where
Konde drives and finishes, and that's under duress, but he finesses it with the left hand.
Looking at his performance in that last game against the Cape Town Tigers, he had a very slow start, but now inside the starting 5, he's really, really starting off very well.
Sidibe looking to exploit the matchup inside. Ball's tapped away. First turnover inside for Ferroviario de Beira. Nwabuzor, he turns over, hands right back. Definitely pushing the tempo on the offensive end. Ferroviario, Perry into the baseline. Young gonna work the matchup. Young to the left hand, misses close range.
There's really no one to rebound there and give themselves a second chance at the basket, but they'll have to recover from that.
Miller. Or Iriegbu, driving, kicking. Nwabuzor from downtown, and that misses absolutely everything. And nice execution, poor shot for Nwabuzor.
Yeah, the shot selection there, very frustrating for Coach Jelko, and you can see it on his face.
Perry. Picked up by Iriegbu. Perry falls to the ground and he gets the bucket. You can count it and one. Ideal start here for the Mozambican champions, and that's 3 great finishes and early 4-point lead. Perry gets a chance for the 3-point play.
Yeah, when you look at the attitude of the Mozambican champions, they're hungry for that victory, and they know that starting very well in this game will go a long way in helping them to get that W. And Will Perry at the front of that.
Out of Lenoir Rhine in North Carolina, Division II school, Will Perry has been instrumental for Ferroviario de Beira over the last couple of years, and there he goes. 7-2 the score. Drive in, blocked. Sidibe clears it away. Into the hands.
Access denied.
Access denied for sure. Out it goes to Namamade. Perry on the baseline. Perry knocks down a wide long-range shot, and that's big-time scoring, and 8-point lead now for Ferroviario.
It is 6 points for Perry.
Up and under, Mara misses from point blank. They have no numbers. It's slowed up by Perry. Young into space. Young drives by and finishes. 2 more. Transition paying off here for Ferroviario as a 10-point lead. SLAC a little bit slow out the gates, and it's all Ferroviario to start out at the Dr. Hassan Mustafa Arena.
Absolutely incredible there from Sidibe with that block denying Iroegba. And on the other end of the court, Will Perry just making it 6 points for him, and amazing for Beira.
10-point lead, 2-12. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Back at the Dr. Hassan Mustafa Arena, it is a 10-point lead for SLAC, for Ferroviario de Beira, and it's a red-hot start, much needed. I know patrolling the sidelines, creeping into the crevices. Robbie Knock has tried to figure out or try to find some information. Robbie, could you pick up anything?
Yeah, Coach Zedzovic basically saying, you know, you've got to defend. You've got to sort out your defense. It's just not happening at the moment. Too many points scored, and you need to own the floor. This is your game.
Well, they get a score just out of the timeout, and that's ideal. 2 of 7 they are from the field into the hands of Young. Gay, who's been also growing in confidence. Perry comes off the handoff. Ball is picked off. Miller into space. Now they have numbers. Miller right at the chest of Perry, and he finishes.
It's a beautiful finish there from Miller. Incredible, really, that he could drive into the paint and just get going.
He had 5 steals. There's Gay. Quick reply on the offensive end. And you score, I score. Ferroviario de Beira back and forth. Conde gets caught up. His jumper is well contested. Nice big rebound. Gay skies in to clear out from the clouds.
Gay has been very active there for Beira on the offensive and defensive side.
Sidibe blocked, and the jump ball is called. Referee Julian Scott just making the call, and so it will be possession the way of SLAC. Just have a look again.
Yeah, looking at that replay there, good defense from Conde, who'll be very proud of how he was able to contain Sidibe.
Well, the possession arrow the way of Ferroviario de Beira, so they try to steal ahead, but it didn't work out. Ball's got to come back, and it is Perry for Beira. Drops it off. Gay driving, right hand, and credit the defense. Tough one on that possession.
It's big moments there from Conde. He's just trying to keep the paint controlled for SLAC.
Yeah, Conde and Miller did a pretty good job. Nice work on the block.
Yeah, and just looking at the replay there, Maktage as well, continuing to ask those questions and forcing SLAC to, you know, make those fouls. And if they can get Conde into foul trouble, it could be a huge problem for the Guinean champions.
The combination of Conde and Miller.
I can just bring some information regarding the shot clock. There's an issue with the shot clock, hence the reason why the officials have gone over there, and they're just trying to sort that issue out right now.
Well, just confirming how much time there should be. Thank you very much, Robbie. And it's been so fast-paced and so frenetic up and down the floor. I don't even think the officials have had time to try and reset the shot clock, because this game, prior to the start, Coach Luis Hernandez likened it to a final. The players are very aware that it's almost do or die. It is business end. It's always the business end of the competition when you're in the Basketball Africa League, but the 3 losses might see Ferroviario de Beira struggling.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just chip in? Excuse me, Q. 3 seconds. They're just adding back onto the clock there. That was the issue. It's been resolved now.
Yeah, just Q, going back to your earlier conversation, Beira know that they have Petro and Al Ahly out of the way, and now if they can win their 3 remaining games, they'll have a chance at making it to the playoffs in Kigali next month. But time to introduce the officials as we wait for the game to resume. Julian Scott, who's the crew chief in this game, brings so much experience from the NBA G League. Hassan Kamate from Cote d'Ivoire, and Joyce Muchenu from Zimbabwe. She's incredible. She's one of the female referees here in the BAL, in the Nile Conference. She's been to 8 World Cups, including being the first African female referee to officiate at the Under-17 Men's World Cup.
Well, finally they've resolved it, and there are 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock, or 4.8 seconds. That crew chief, and you talked about experience from the referees. That is absolutely surreal. So 3 seconds it is. Confirmation you see on the screen. And Beira will need an execution out of the sideline, out of bounds.
It is a line defense there from SLAC as they protect the paint.
Nice drive from Young through the contact, count the bucket and one. Strong take from Najil Young.
Yeah, Najil Young yesterday sort of got an injury on his ankle. He was worried that he'll not be playing, but he said he has to play. He has to do everything possible to help Beira get their first victory today. And right now, they look like they are on the right course, Q.
He is fantastic when he puts the ball on the floor. Really doesn't like to settle for perimeter jump shots, does Najil Young, and he's a lot better when he does put the ball on the floor. Had a little bit of a breakout game for his teams with those 17 points against Petro de Luanda. And now just building on it as he picks up the completion of the and-one play. 5 points for Young. It is an 11-point lead for Beira. Miller. Up through the contact, you can count the bucket. That's just smart veteran play from Miller.
It is the experience that Miller Jr. brings to this SLAC side. He's been with the Guinean champions for 5 seasons and one of the most experienced players for them here in the tournament. Very key, and he's averaging 39.7 minutes in season 3 of the BAL, including the Sahara Conference. That's crazy, Q.
Well, he would have had 40 if he didn't have that little cut moment. There was no way he was getting him off the court against the Tigers, and he continued to have a high energy, high motor. He led the BAL in minutes played in season 2. And you just see his experience, that hand extension from Gay, just able to draw the foul. And here he is with a chance to go to the free throw line. He is the leader, the floor leader, the engine.
He is the engine, creme de la creme of the Guinean champions, as of course they look to get that victory tonight in honor of the fallen Dr. Abubakar Gaye, who was head of the FIBA Medical Committee and represented Guinea in more ways than one during his lifetime.
Yeah, very sad loss, and misses on the free throw, and thoughts and prayers do go out to the family of Dr. Gay. Ferroviario, basketball in hand. Lemamad driving, strong take. They are functioning on all cylinders right now. It's a different team for Beira. They're playing with a lot of intent. 2 more for Ismail Lemamad. Hiroekbo Baseline. Passes out. Nwabuzor pulls up for three. That's a great shot from Nwabuzor. Just breaking down off the dribble. High pressure shot gets it to 4.
Amazing from Nwabuzor. He saw the space and he took it. 3 points for SLAC to get them within distance of Beira.
Yeah, going to work. Passes off to Gay. Gay, point blank. Nice defensive work by Conde and Miller on the contest. Just enough to disturb the shot of Gay.
Yeah, Gay will have to work so hard on that offensive side. There's so much defense, but looking at that replay there from Nwabuzor, incredible finish. He saw a bit of space and punished Nurmamade.
4:25 left in the first quarter. The baseline shot is short. Kept alive. They'll have another bite of the cherry. Pass inside. There is Gay. Again, point blank range is no good. Young and Perry fighting, and there is a foul call as the scramble for the basketball just on the sideline. Nwabuzor will pick up the foul.
There's really so much at stake in this game for both sides. They know it, and every possession really counts. And good hands there from Will Perry to maintain and get that steal.
Well, you have 3 players who've led the offense. Perry, Nurmamade, and Young just finding different ways to score. Perry goes up and over. Gay secures the rebound. Point blank again, misses. Gay once again gets it back. It's a battle inside the paint.
It is a battle, and Makta Gay, commonly known as the Lion Killer in Senegal, just trying to make his presence known here in the Nile Conference. He's, of course, one of the Senegalese players playing outside of AS Douane that already qualified for the playoffs in Kigali next month. Just bringing that lion spirit to the Nile Conference.
Senegalese international. I represented them at the Basketball World Cup at 4.7 points and 0.7 rebounds. But also UAB Blazers and the NCAA. And he brings a lot of that experience. Listed at 208. And helping to try and shore up the paint for Beira. There's a substitution as Mukwambe going to get his first run in this contest. Nurmamade will go off, and on the other side, Mara comes in for Fofana. And Gay converts back up to 10. Very fast-paced game. Mara, Conde from the free throw line. It's tapped off and controlled. Beira looking to extend their lead. Young drives in. Your short jumper is good.
It's a beautiful finish there from Young to just continue with that confidence for Beira.
Off the ball. Some contact called. There's a hold called. So the basketball count, and it goes on Will Perry. Picks up his first foul. Conde going to be given just a little bit of break. 2 points he was able to contribute. As more changes being thrown on the floor by both coaches. Ba in for SLAC. Long range shot is good, nothing but net. And that long range shot, Roigbo opens up his account. Young. The drop off. Sidibe. Into the chest of Ba. That's a great defensive possession. And going nowhere was Ba, held strong through the contact.
SLAC know that if they want to win this game, they have to play great defense, and you can see that in every movement that they make every time Beira have the ball.
There are 6 Ghanaian internationals on the floor for this Seidu Athletic Club. Missed close range from Gay. Rebound is picked up by Roigbo. Paddles into Neil, and the blocking foul is called. Just look at the rebound discrepancy, 14-3. Beira have been all over that glass on both ends of the floor.
And talking about Beira. Yang, one of the very key players for Beira. He'll have to be in fine form tonight for them to have a chance at winning this game against SLAC.
But one of the Ghanaian internationals on the floor. Outside shot, Mara. It's no good, long rebound. Gay looking for the transition opportunity. Back up it comes. Perry, 14 on the shot clock. Screen. Now Perry pulls up from long range, long rebound, controlled by BAL. A rare dry possession for Ferroviario. They've had an outstanding offensive first quarter. Iroegbo, almost from the same spot that he hit a little bit earlier, but it's wide right. Another rebound control. Now Perry in transition, knocks down a three. That is red hot shooting from Will Perry, and they are on fire, this Ferroviario de Beira team. Perry, no defense up on him.
That's a beautiful three-pointer from Will Perry. Very timely to maintain that lead for Beira.
Long range shot again. Can't find his touch. Perry leads the way with 9 points. And Ferroviario are playing great team basketball in this first quarter. Mungwambe. Pass to Neil. Najil Young. Young again gets inside the paint. He's just relentless. He just attacks the paint consistently.
It's a good strategy from Beira because they know SLAC are playing a small game, and you can see that Young and the rest of the Beira players are sort of bigger than them in size, so if they drive into the paint, they can get a foul and a basket, or at least a trip to the charity line.
Najil Young has G-League experience with the Santa Cruz Warriors and played his college basketball in Illinois, in Chicago for the Flames. 29 years old, listed at 196. And he's 17 points against Petro, his high in this competition so far. Growing and continually growing in stature. Robbie, what's the mood like on the sideline?
A little bit tense, to be honest with you. I've been at both ends, and I can tell you that Coach Zečević, happy when they defend properly, but when they don't, he's absolutely livid. And, you know, they're just not securing those offensive rebounds. And at the other end, you can see they're getting ripped apart, but it's coming from the outside. A little bit of frustration for Coach Zečević. 28 points in the first quarter. High scoring. The long-range shot still won't go. They are struggling from three-point land. Young. Out it comes to Perry. Drives in. Close range, is just rushes the shot, does not fall. 14-point game. And Iroegbo. Miller seen a few touches. Not as many as he's used to. Miller off the spin. Attacks the rim. I think Sidibe got a touch on it. Somehow he gets it back. Up he goes and draws the contact and the foul.
There's great resilience there from Miller and SLAC as they try to stay alive in this game. It's a 14-point game, and Miller knows that if they are to, of course, continue to stay within touching distance, they have to drive into that paint, and that's exactly what he's doing.
39.7 minutes for 20 points. He had 5 steals. His defense, one of the features of the way that he plays the game. Dane Miller Jr. Out of Rutgers in New York. Russell spent some time with the OKC Blue and has been with SLAC since 2018. He gets the second one to fall. 1 second differential between shot and game clock. Perry gets up on his feet. Now isolating, probably gonna hold for the last shot. Perry gets by Iroegbo. There's a foul call, and SLAC are in the penalty now. That's the foul, means that you're going to send Will Perry to the free throw line with 9.3 seconds left.
Yeah, looking at the replay there was huge space, and Perry made no mistake, went for the basket. It doesn't count, but he'll have another attempt at adding to Beira's points on the free throw line.
Well, Beira have been aggressive right out of the blocks. This is the 9th and 10th free throw attempts. And they've been shooting it at just about 75% before that make, and Perry has been the floor leader. They get both. Miller with potentially the last possession of the quarter. Miller turning, drop off. Ball slips out of the hands, and Nuapuzor couldn't finish the assist. It pretty much might sum up that first quarter for SLAC out of Guinea-Conakry, because it was all Ferroviario Beira in the first quarter. And at the end of one, it's SLAC 16, Beira 30. Exciting first quarter, and Beira setting the tone with 30 first quarter points. That is just electric offense that we saw. And for SLAC out of Guinea-Conakry, they're going to have to figure out new defensive schemes and try to figure out how to slow down this Beira really well-run offense. Asher.
Yeah, when you talk about SLAC, they know they have their work cut out. There's so much basketball yet to play, but they're playing a small game. They know that they're coming up a team that has bigs in that paint, Sidibe, Mungwambe, who are going to come on this second quarter. There's so much work really to do for SLAC, who have now introduced Dumbuya to sort of deal with Sidibe. And Will Perry, he's been incredible so far in this game, shooting from the three-point line. He has 9 of Beira's 30 points and really leading the offensive charge.
Yeah, he's been fantastic, Will Perry. And, you know, maybe a little bit of talk about the little floor general, or the floor general's ability on the floor, and he's really done fantastic in that first quarter, Perry. And now it's going to be the job of the tacticians and the coaches on the side to try and get this right. Maybe a chance, Robbie, just before we get into it, to figure out what was happening on the sideline.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was Will Perry saying sort of, you know, 3 passes and they're done. So basically the pressure is on the SLAC players when they're moving forward. Put pressure on them so that they force the turnover, and then they can take possession and score. They lead by 14.
Sidibe off the great pass. That's a nice find. Easy finish.
It is an easy finish, and Beira have doubled SLAC's points. It's not looking good for the Guinean champions.
The Guinean champions have got to start working. Look at Miller, get inside, slide by, and that's 2 points, and that might be an option for them. Got to go to where your bread is buttered. Chirombe, Perry, red hot. Perry continues to knock down from the perimeter. It's up to 14 points.
Yeah, incredible. That is the first player now in double digits, 12 for the American.
Ball comes up and up. Out it goes, and it's going to be SLAC basketball, 18-35, 8:48 in this first quarter. But out, and another look at Perry, who's lays it in from long range. Wide open. The shot is short. There's Miller Jr. through the contact, count the bucket and one. Good signs here for SLAC and Miller Jr.
And Miller has his eyes on the basket. You can see he just picked that rebound, went back up, and boom, 2 easy 3 points. Frustration there from Coach Luis Hernandez as Beira failed to deal with Miller Jr.
Well, important that they start the second quarter better than they did the first. Perry. In big games, Perry is the go-to guy for Beira. Buhana. Sidibe. Going to work. Goes to the left hand, goes right over. Nothing there. There's a scramble for the basketball, and Travel is called, and it's going to be a turnover for Ferroviario.
Yeah, looking at the replay there, Sidibe tries to fight for the ball, but there's good defense there from SLAC, and they lose possession.
Just lifting the pivot foot, trying to control that possession. It goes, and there's a great example of high-pressure defense as the ball is thrown away. Ferroviario pushing up on high pressure. Still at 14 points it is, and substitutions happening on the floor.
And looking at Nwabuzo, very disappointed there with that play. He'll take a break. He's been very crucial for them in this tournament so far, averaging 11 points per game, and perhaps they'll hope he comes back better.
Mungwambe, up and under and in. That is a skillful finish from Mungwambe, and that's where he's best, just putting the ball on the floor, driving.
Yeah, Mungwambe just picking up from where Makta Gaye stopped, and that's very key for the Mozambican champions to have players in the paint that can consistently ask the right questions. And Beira really have scored great points in the paint, 16 points in the paint for Ferroviario, and in Mungwambe goes again, looking to add to that total. It's kept alive. Pass goes into Gay. Gay forces the foul, and that's again just great ball movement and forcing that isolation situation. It's going to be a great game for Makta Gaye. Everything is showing that both teams are trying to play so much in the paint, with Makta Gaye on this side and Sidibe whenever he's on court, and on the other side, Miller Jr. But Will Perry is keeping the game alive from the backcourt.
Makta Gaye has struggled a little bit from the perimeter throughout this one, but he's got to use a little bit more of that height and that frame on the inside. So some Kevin Garnett comparisons online, and he can perhaps play in that guise.
That's a nice one, Q.
Mungwambe. Miller. He's led the way with his 11 points. It's important that he finds help on the floor, and there's some help coming in. Iroegbu knocks down another three-pointer.
There's a great finish there from Iroegbu. He knows he's very good behind the arc. He'll continue to attempt those once he has space.
Fofana! Defense to offense, gets his hand in the passing lane, and there is 2 more points. We saw the value of what a dunk can do, and just in terms of spurring motivation, and sometimes those kind of athletic plays knows how to spark a team's offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Fofana knows that, and really great defense leading up to that transition play that led to the dunk. Will give him confidence going forward on both sides of the court.
I just get memories of Roebuck Jr.'s dunk yesterday evening, but Fofana with his own version out in transition, and they are back within 13 points. Iroegbu this time puts it on the floor. Fofana turns, looking for options. The ball is scrambled. Dumbuya can't get the shot up. Credit Ferroviario defense. It's into the hands of Young.
Well, Young and Dumbuya, it's a great matchup.
Well, there, Young goes right at Dumbuya and winning the matchup this time. Najio Young right at the chest of Dumbuya. You're not going to see Young pull up for too many shots. He is aggressive. We're not looking for mid-range shots. He goes right into the throat of the defense. Substitutions on the floor. Dumbuya comes off, and that matchup already seen and looked at as Nwabuzo comes back in.
And Nwabuzo just needed a break, and he got it.
Short floater is not going to count as the defense draws the foul. Fofana has done a couple of great jobs, so has been good on the defensive end, and that's a great heads-up play.
Looking at the replay there, Nuramade with the offensive foul.
Young picks off the pass. Young! What the finish! That is just great work again. Heads up play from Najil Young.
It's amazing work ethic there from Young. He'll be proud when he sees the replay. And just keeping Beira in the lead.
Baseline drive. Miller holds for a second. 3 seconds on the shot clock. The pass comes, it's into Erebu. The shot rattles off. The rebound is tipped just off the hands of Gay, so it's going to be SLAC basketball. They keep the possession alive.
And looking at the replay there, Young with a nice steal, easy dunk. And just maintaining this 15-point lead for the Mozambican champions.
And fighting hard. SLAC, they keep looking for ways to make inroads into the lead. Wide open is Fofana. That's point blank miss, but he tips it back in. Just must have breathed a sigh of relief on that putback. Perry. Drop off. There's Young again with the right hand. They spread the scoring. Young has now moved up and continues to pile on the points. Miller at gate. Miller shorted. Perry in transition. The extra pass. Nimamade is wide open. Rattles in and out. Now a chance for SLAC as they go back and forth on each possession. Eroegbu behind the back. That's a nice play, and Conde just can't get the finish.
Yeah, it's frustrating there for Conde. He thought he had his eye on the basket, but he'll go to the free throw line. And just looking at the replay, nice pass there from Eroegbu, but there were too many bodies in the paint.
30-year-old Guinean international, Conde, one of the 6 internationals that I've spoken about, and Coach Zečević, he really does try and build the chemistry around this team, and they have a good core of players that have played together and have been tested at international level, and here they are representing club, but also represent country.
Yeah, Coach Jelko, he's done an incredible job with Guinean basketball. Took them to the quarterfinals of the FIBA Afrobasket in Kigali 2 years ago. And he's coached the under-19 here in Cairo of Guinea. And that experience helps here in the BAL.
Gang! BAL post the time. Gets up and in, and that's off the dribble. Smile on his face, and he's got every reason to smile.
He's not called the Lion Killer for nothing, Q. He's been amazing so far.
Baseline, it is Miller again. He just does not stop going, Dane Miller Jr.
It is, you score, we score, you score, we score, but it's still a 13-point game now.
Yeah, and 13 points it is for Miller.
Yeah, he's the difference, definitely, for SLAC.
Namamade, his mid-range jumper is good. Free-flowing offense from both of these teams. Eroegbu driving, lays it up, the scoop, no good. And there was a contact call. Well, finally, we just get a little break in play as both these teams have been pushing the ball in transition. We've seen some high-paced offense. And another look at Gaze. Well, I don't know if you call it a poster. He kind of got the dunk, but kind of didn't get the dunk.
It is a poster. It is what it is.
He can get the poster. He can get the poster. And it is a timeout on the floor. 32-47 in favor of Beira. Well, back we are in the land of the Pharaohs as Ferroviario still fighting and holding off this attack from SLAC. As the 32-47 the score, and we just had a timeout. Fofana into the corner it goes. Mabil with his first minutes on the floor in this one. Eroegbu, and the shot clock violation. We just Great defensive position. We have a chance now to just go across. And Robbie, I know that you're in the crevices looking for the information.
In the crevices, Q. I like the way that you talk. Yes, no, indeed. I think that just listening into Coach Hernandez, they are basically saying, you know, let's use that man Gay, as you can see now. Let's really focus on him, because the fact is that they're racing around looking for Will Perry, Nurmamad, but the big man coming through, you know, let's take advantage of him coming through and just carving open the defense, because he's on fire.
Well, thank you very much. And you saw the opportunity there for the Lion Killer to get inside, and he picks up the contact and the foul. But it is Ferroviario basketball. Gay going to try and work the Miller matchup. Kicks out. Chirombe drives baseline and is blocked by Miller. Ever present inside the paint. Miller Jr.
Well, that is why he's really an important player for SLAC.
Yeah. Now he's going to try and go right at Miller. Fofana comes in on the help, but he'll draw the foul. And it's so tough to stop Young once he puts the ball on the floor.
That is really poor defense from Fofana. He'll be very disappointed. He shouldn't even be complaining about the call from the referee. But more importantly, it is 14 fouls for SLAC, same as Beira. So any more foul in this quarter and both teams will be in the red.
He has the ability to draw contact because of his frame and his speed. Gio Young, and points in the paint is what he does. He doesn't really settle for outside shots. He's only shot 2 3-pointers in this competition. He gets the free throw to go.
Yeah, it's great for Beira.
Miller. He's got a matchup against Perry. Miller. Drop-off pass, and he's going to get called for the travel.
It is really good defense that Beira are playing in this game. They're patient. They're trying to make sure that they don't come off with a foul. And so far, there's good communication, and you can feel that.
9th turnover, that was for SLAC. Gay. Perry trying to control the offense. Drop off. Now it's Nurmamad. Foul on the floor. And that is the 15th foul. So it will send Ishmael Nurmamad to the line.
Well, Nwabuzo now has 3 personal fouls. That's not looking good for SLAC as they head into the red. And Beira will definitely take note of that and try to continue to penetrate the paint so that they can get the easy points.
Well, I wonder how much of last year's Sahara. This is, of course, the second time these teams have met in the Basketball Africa League in conference play, and I don't know how much of that remains fresh in the mind of both coach and players, because 1974, it was in favor of SLAC the last time they met the Sahara Conference. And looking to turn that result around, I think, is Coach Hernandez, and especially, I think, captain and point guard Will Perry.
Yeah, incredible, really, to think about how that rivalry there is turning out for the two teams. They have that fresh in their mind, and Coach Luis Hernandez is not ready to lose a second time to the Guinean side.
Fofana trying to rewrite the narrative of his own around the pick from Mobile. Fofana's shot comes off the back iron. Is control, but trying to keep the rebound alive was Mara, but he steps right out of bounds. It's that 20-point margin will be a psychological barrier for both teams. Young from the top of the key, knocks down a jumper.
That's absolutely beautiful. That's 18 points for Young. He's been consistent throughout the game and very key for Beira.
Now Mobile turns over, and just 3 consecutive turnovers hurting the Ghanaian champions, as the lead now up to 20 with 2:13 left in the second quarter.
That's 10 turnovers for SLAC, and Beira have actually scored 11 points from turnovers, and it's really hurting the Guinean champions.
Using the defense to offense mentality. The ball is turned over this time by Gay. Mwapuzor, Iriek was taken away. Now it's Gay. Left hand for 2. Another 2 points from turnovers.
Absolutely. It's really looking great for Beira being able to score from the transition and hurt SLAC.
Mara, point blank. Mara gets it back and Mara scores. His first 2 points in this one, the young 19-year-old Guinean international.
Yes, he's come through the system in Guinea, and thanks to Coach Jelko, who also handles the youth Guinean teams, the senior team, and he's been able to incorporate him in this SLAC side, and so much of that experience is coming to play here at the BAL.
Well, the future of Guinean basketball is certainly bright if you look at the age of this SLAC team, but what is not looking bright right now is the score. As a timeout is called on the floor. It's 34-54, 20-point game, but anything can happen in the Basketball Africa League. We saw that lesson yesterday evening with the City Oilers fighting back from 33 points down and bringing it to the final possession. So there is still a lot to write in this story and in this narrative between these 2 teams.
Yes, these 2 teams, each of them looking for their very first victory here at the Nile Conference. Every possession matters. Beira know that they have their fate in their hands, but there's so much basketball to be played. They now need to maintain this double-digit lead that they have against SLAC. But SLAC are a team that have the character to turn things around, and of course, Coach Jelko being one of the very stubborn coaches that can tactically change things.
Well, very interestingly, one thing that Beira have done is they've been very selective with their 3-point shooting. They've only attempted 5 3-point shots in this one, and they've hit 3 of them. Everything has literally come from inside the paint, and it's the job of the SLAC defense to try and stop them. Makta Gay, the Lion Killer, with 10 points and 6 rebounds. He's been one of the standout players, one of 3 players in double figures.
Yes, the Lion Killer just 4 rebounds away from a double-double. He's, of course, not worried about his own personal stats, but really that the team gets going and gets that first victory so that they can stay alive in this Nile Conference.
3 finals. That's what Coach Luis Hernandez said. There's the drive in. Nice finish with the left hand.
It's a beautiful finish from Iroigba. He's been very dangerous behind the arc, but just seeing him, drive to the basket, get that easy basketball off the glass just looks good for the Nigerian.
They need a couple more possessions like that. Here's Young. Young, right hand. 21st up points for Najil Young. That's unreal.
Incredible there for Young. He's been relentless. He's asked the right questions and really having so much fun.
The drive in, and there's a charge called. We've seen it on one end, and here on the other side, Jerome goes to ground. And another look at Najil Young finishing with the right hand on that drive. You want your floor leaders to lead from the front, especially in terms of scoring, and he's done that for Ferroviario.
Yeah, it's interesting really to see that SLAC are going for a full court press, knowing that Ferroviario de Beira have good ball handlers. Cue Mr. Will Perry.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Now Najil Young drives in, and there's a contact call. Interesting indeed, because given the fact that they are in the penalty, you know that any single foul will send them to the free throw line, and you've got to be aggressive when you're up on the press. And foul is drawn. Mara commits the foul, and it sends Young to the free throw line.
And looking at the 2 fouls that Mara has committed so far, he looks like he will definitely be the target for Beira. Go to him and he'll foul. And just an easy trip to the free throw line as Young attempts that free throw.
A rare empty trip for Beira and Young. 9.5 seconds remain in this one. And there's a timeout call. I think Coach Luis Hernandez wants to set up potential play here on the sideline and try and get a finish. Just take them up over that 20-point mark. Well, it's been very intriguing looking at the aggression from this Ferroviario de Beira team. They've got 3 players in double figures, Usher. And you got to talk about the aggression of Najil Young, but he's also had some help.
Yes, obviously he's had a lot of help from Will Perry, but you just get the feeling that they're really playing as a team, trying to get the best out of each other. And sometimes you feel that Nur Mamade is the one taking the lead, and then Will Perry takes up the lead, and then it's Young. So really they're just rotating that offensive play, and it's working for them. SLAC have to play as a team as well on defense, and we know that championships are won through defense, but of course they're missing that man, Cedric Barfield. He's injured with his knee and struggling, and they're hoping that he can be back for their game against the City Oilers.
Well, here's a look at Young attacking and scoring. 17 points to have him down for. Perry with the long-range shot to try and close out the half, and so in style he misses. They get the look they want, but they don't get the result they want through Ferroviario de Beira. But they have been in control since the tip-off. It's been all Beira for the first 20 minutes in this one, and for SLAC, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of words at halftime. It's 36-56, halftime at the Dr. Hussein Mustafa Arena. That's right, it's 36-56 in favor of Ferroviario Beira as they take on Seydu Legacy Athletic Club out of Guinea and Conakry. And a lot of work to be done by both teams. Still 20 minutes of basketball action that remains on this floor. There is a win-loss record at stake, and there's still a lot of chapters to be read in this now conference. It's been fascinating basketball for the first 3 days of competition. This, of course, is day 4, game 6, that is taking place on this Dr. Hassan Mustafa Arena floor. And for SLAC, they need to try and pick up their rate of play in the second half. And for Coach Luis Hernandez and Beira, they really do think that it's going to be important for them to continue the way they've been playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Beira have been in charge of their destiny right from the beginning of this game. They've not given SLAC any chance at breathing or thinking that they can get that victory. It's a 20-point game, and they'll want to continue from where they stopped at the end of that second quarter. That man, Will Perry, will be very key for the Mozambican champions. He's already downed 14 points, and he has so much help from Young and Makta Gaye. And let's see how SLAC react and get back onto the court to play better defense.
Well, talking about controlling destinies, there is a man controlling a destiny of his own. Robbie Knock, you've been courtside. What your thoughts on the performance of Ferroviario so far?
Oh, they've been very impressive, haven't they? I think everything's come together. The passing of the ball, the distribution, the scoring of Will Perry right from the very start has enabled them to really work well. Looking very strong, looking for a SLAC comeback now.
Anything can happen, and second half action gets underway. It's Ferroviario basketball. Gay, he's got control. Sidibe back on the floor. Young and Numamade, they get the start for Coach Hernandez. Perry kicks to Young, guarded by Miller. Young pulls up from the elbow, nothing but net. And that's a start, ideal start for Najil Young, picking up where he left off. Iroegbo. The drive in from that man Nwapuzor, and he'll draw the foul. I think this will be something that they will, an adjustment that they would have made at halftime, to try and attack the rim just with a little bit more aggression.
Yeah, looking at the replay there, Nwabuzo not caring that there's 3 men literally trying to stop him. And on the other side, Young, like you say, starting from where he stopped. He's been amazing from the 3-point line, from the paint, on defense. He's really been extraordinary as Nwabuzo converts the first attempt on the free throw there.
Fofana Iruegbu, Conde, Miller Jr., and Wabrazo get the start in the second half for Coach Zisovic. 2 free throws converted, and we're still tied at 20. Perry. Najil Young. Maktar Gaye. Numamade. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Numamade is going to pull the long-range shot. It rattles off. We've seen very few shot attempts from the perimeter, and he's probably the primary point man from the three-point line, Ismail Numamade.
Yeah, absolutely. That is their 7th team attempt from behind the arc.
Ball on the floor. Iruegbu is open. Nothing but net from the three-point line.
His 3rd three-pointer in this game. Iruegbu has been doing the right thing, and once he has a good shot selection, he takes it, and that will be very key in helping them to reduce this gap.
Well, he can't get his hands on it. Iruegbu was trying to turn that defense his way, but the ball goes out of bounds. And so it is Beira basketball still. Perry working the pick and roll. Trap. Numamade, the floater is short. He gets it right back. 14 fresh seconds on the shot clock. He'll try and work with the high pick and roll now. Ismail Numamade, he drives, kicks. Perry is open for 3.
It's a beautiful three-pointer there from Will Perry. It's his 4th in this game, 4 of 6, shooting incredibly for Beira.
Wow, he's been fantastic as Will Perry, the drive. Top of the keeper on Wapazor, and he also rips the nylon.
It's a great way for SLAC to stay in this one. Iruegbu trying from the three-point line as Nobuzu drives into the paint. Miller is still quiet and Conde, but they're doing a lot of work on the defensive side.
Better execution on the offensive end by both these teams just to start out. We always talk about the all-important 3rd quarter, and it can go either way in terms of, momentum. We've seen that even the 4th quarter can be a strange thing in the Basketball Africa League.
That's right. SLAC have already outscored Beira in this quarter so far, 7 for 5, but let's see if Beira can score in this possession.
Long range shot is good. Yay! He's lasered in from downtown.
Incredible there from Maktar Gaye, the Lion Killer, with his first three-pointer in the game.
Well, back the other way they come. Quick reply. And it is back and forth. There's very little give and take from these two teams. Young. Numamade. Around the pick, he goes front iron, it's short. Gay picks it right back up, and he misses again. Has struggled on the inside, the Lion Killer, just on occasion. Can't finesse the finish.
Looking at the replay for that three-pointer, very timely for Beira, as Iruegbu responds rightly so on the other side of the court. He's netted 4 three-pointers and amassed 14 points so far. He's looking good and reliable for SLAC.
Numamade is to the bench. Citibank driving. Left is well contested. The rebound is picked up there by that man, the Gil Young, and he leads the Now Conference in second chance points. You get another idea of how good he is inside the paint.
Young has really played the game of his Nile Conference experience so far. He's amassed 19 points already, and we're just halfway through this third quarter.
Well, conversation between referee Julian Scott and just confirming where the foul will go. And it's awarded to Conde, who picks up his second personal foul, and it's also 2 team fouls. Young gets the second. 1 of 2 on that trip, and it's still 19 points. There's competitive third quarter nonetheless. Nwabuzor. Perry on the defense. Iroegbu steps through the trap and he'll draw the contact. Nice offensive execution. They've been much better with ball in hand in the second half of SLAC.
Looking at the replay there, Iroegbu driving once again into that paint, and there's just too many Beira hands, and Mwambe has been caught out, and it is a foul on him. It's his first in this game. And 2 team fouls for Ferroviario de Beira.
Well, they called a contact on the ground, so it will be a sideline out of bounds. 6:27 remaining. We've just had over 3 minutes here in the second half. Miller, quick turnaround jumper. It won't fall in for Conde. The rebound is controlled by Beira. Gay to the corner. Mungwambe. Well defended on that one. Mungwambe again, he'll try baseline once again. The drop off into the hands of Gates. Taken away. Fofana battling to keep the ball alive. Finally, chance here in transition. Open. Nwabuzor comes off the front iron, and there is a battle for the boards inside the paint. Conde working hard, and there'll be a jump ball possession. SLAC.
There is indeed a lot of work to be done in that paint, and Conde trying to get that possession and give themselves another chance with the ball.
Now,
as Mara comes back onto the court to replace Iroegbu.
Young Mara has struggled to find his identity in this one so far. There's a ball swatted away. You can't go up weak inside the paint. It's cleared out of the painted area.
And looking at Conde, he's doing so much of the work there on the offensive side.
Oh my, Miller hits the 3 and is going to get a chance for a 4-point play. And that is and could be a big moment in this one.
That's a big boy move there from Miller Jr. It's much expected of a veteran player like him. And just looking at the replay there, very nice and easy. Rose up above the defense and got those 3 points in to keep SLAC very close. It's 16 points for him, and it's his first 3-pointer in this game.
0.5 left on the shot clock. Gets an important 4-point player now. Back within 15. Yay. Young. Well read by Fofana into the passing lane. Fofana!
Well, that should give Fofana great identity in the game. It will give him some confidence. It's his second dunk of the game, and great momentum from the Guinean champions.
Young. Perry is open for 3. Big-time players make big-time shots, and that one just halts the momentum in SLAC trying to fight their way back.
Will Perry has been perfect behind the arc, and just timely for Beira. Just when SLAC feel that they're coming close, Beira pulls something out of the bag and just wants to maintain that lead. It's still obviously 16 points for Luis Hernandez's side, and you can see the reaction on the bench.
Or just trying to seize momentum, and back and forth we go. It's a fascinating contest. 4:49. It's SLAC 52, Beira 68, and timeout on the floor. Back courtside as a fascinating tussle between SLAC and Beira continues. 52-68 the score. 4:48 left in this one. Back and forth we continue to go. Miller. The drive in, an extra kick. Mara fires from the baseline. It's not going to be scored, but it is controlled on the offensive rebound. Now the drive into the hands of Miller. Miller, hop step, finesses it, and he somehow found a way in between all the defense.
That is big boy basketball, really, from Miller Jr. Finds his way in the paint and drops those easy 2 points, and just bringing that deficit down to 14 points.
Young again, unstoppable inside the paint. And talking about being unstoppable, I'm pretty sure that the sideline must be a fascinating place. Robbie, do you have anything for us?
It's not for the faint-hearted, Q, I can promise you that. Very interesting, because Coach Zecevich, I mean, he's very animated. He's always very animated. But what he was saying was really, you've got to get the rebounds, you know. And look, there are moments where you've got to make the assists, and you've got a movement around the playmaker. Let's move this ball. Let's pass it around, and let's help each other, because we can do this.
Well, there's still belief, and you can see it in the play of Miller Jr. There's always going to be the key component of the SLAC engine. And here he is again, third personal foul on Sidibe, fifth team foul. So this is going to be interesting going with the final 3:46 in this third quarter.
Oh, and Q, he used some Serbian language that I don't understand, but it was interesting, very interesting.
Robbie, I know you know what he meant.
The secrets will stay with me.
Well, obviously, just looking at the halftime stats, you can see that Young and Maktagae combined for 27 points. And SLAC are just trying to replicate that now in this third quarter by using those drives into the paint through Miller. And so far he's doing a great job, because now Beira are in the red.
Yeah, he's up to 21 points, Miller Jr. Drive. And the little hook shot is good for Will Perry now. Interesting what the referees call on this one.
There is, seems to be a foul that was called on Perry.
Well,
or Sidibe, actually. And Sidibe, yep. So because they are in the red, Ferroviario de Beira, it was an off-the-ball foul on Conde.
Yeah, it was a push.
Yeah, it was a push.
The hands were up, and there was a push.
Yeah, 4 personal fouls there for Sidibe. He's in trouble.
The bucket did count as well, so you can give 2 more points to Perry, but a chance here for Conde on the other side. Free throw line, always important, especially down the stretch. And they always say you can, whatever your free throw percentage is, doesn't matter, because pressure free throws, you just have to take them one at a time.
Absolutely. Well, going into this particular possession, they were shooting at 90% SLAC, and at least Conde got to get one of the 2 attempts from the free throw line.
Ngwambe. Drop off, there's Young into the paint. Once again, unstoppable Najil Young. Back, he gets it. Quick hands into the hands of Gay. Gay, close range. Front irons, Miller. In transition. Pass, Nwabuzor. 2 more.
It is great eyes there from Miller to find Nwabuzor. Easy basket, and there's a lot of tension in that transition play.
Off the ball contact, and it is Gay who picks up a foul. Miller and Gay just off the ball. And another look at the work by Najil Young, who gets the finish with the right hand, splitting the defense. 2 more points to the total.
And they're straight up to the free throw line as well.
In the penalty they are, and so Miller Jr. And now discussion between the referees and the crew chief, Julian Scott. I think they might have a look. One of the replay triggers is always an altercation, and this was off the ball. So the conversation happening right in front of Miller Jr. And offensive foul called. It is still will be SLAC basketball. They don't go to the free throw line because it is an offensive foul.
Absolutely, as SLAC have the possession. I'm just looking at the replay there, Q. could be a big moment in the game, this one, as Maktagae has 4 personal fouls.
The drive in, and that's a beautiful take by Iroegbo. Now he's finding his comfort. 16 points he has, backing up the offensive effort. Young. Buana. Perry tries to drop it off to Young. Perry in the corner. Perry! And it just comes off the front iron. Buana, right place. Or rather, Chirombe, right place to pick up the rebound. Holding.
Looking at that, very careless foul there from Nobuzo, but just look at the replay there. Good drive and clean, but Nobuzo now very worrying for SLAC, for him to pick up that foul as he heads to the bench. It's his 4th personal foul.
3 players on 4 fouls. 2 of them on Ferroviario de Beira, Gay and Sidibe in foul trouble. Perry, 3 seconds on the shot clock. He can't find his range, and that comes off the back of the backboard, and so it'll go out. This has been a spirited fight back by SLAC here in the 3rd. They needed to.
Yeah, it's great defense from Fofana there to deny Perry.
Iroegbo! Count the bucket, and he drives in, draws the contact, and it's a big score.
It is a big score because it now brings them within 11 points of Ferroviario de Beira, who are in trouble. Their big men are on the bench, including Maktagae, who's been very crucial for them today. And knowing Coach Jelko, the instructions are very clear. Drive into that basket. There's 2 minutes to play. They are in the red. Let's punish them.
Well, the forced move, I think it was the young elevate player. Mbia comes in for Coach Luis Hernandez, trying to put that 6'11" frame to work on the defensive end. Young around the screen. Nguambe, important possessions for both teams. Young around the screen. Young to Mbia. Mbia underneath, gets it 2. Fantastic pick and roll play.
It is a big bucket for the Congolese player who's trying to find his feet here in the Nile Conference. He's been given an opportunity and he's delivering.
Mara into the chest of Perry Strong. The rebound is secured by Konde. They get another opportunity. Iroegbo fires from deep, comes off the front iron. Somehow Munguambe wrestles that ball away, importantly so. Perry floats it up. There's Mbia. 3 around him. Mbia can't finish. Looking for the contact call. Miller, hop, step, finish.
It is a big bucket there from Miller, who uses the advantage of the mismatch against Will Perry, as we see Young struggling.
Well, ball goes to the floor. There's a heads-up play again, and credit Miller for his awareness on the floor.
There's a bit of confusion there as Young went on the floor. He felt that his ankle had an issue. Chirombe tried to play the medical situation by falling to the ground so that there's fair play, but SLAC scored the basket. Let's look at the replay there as Chirombe put the ball down and it was stolen by Miller Jr. Easy bucket there from Fofana, and the confusion has now brought us to this break as Young speaks to Julian Scott.
Well, it's huge because it takes the deficit under 10 points, and we've just seen some really strange moments, and that might be one of the stranger ones we've seen in the Nile Conference nonetheless. And I don't know what it looked like from your angle, Robbie, not from ours. It was a very strange moment.
No, very strange. Just trying to assess the situation. The jail he's limping off. He's walking away, and I don't know if he's going to be okay. I think he's just trying to shake it off. But very, very strange. It really was. I was trying to understand because the ball was placed on the ground. They were screaming at him to say, you know, do a medical, you know, let's like sort of, you know, let's stop the game for a second. And then it was just picked up and passed and scored. I mean, surreal, right?
Surreal.
Yeah, surreal, because when SLAC had the ball on the other possession, Young had already gone down. The referees did not see him go down, and he tried to come back and play defense alongside Will Perry. Didn't work out. Chirombe tried to sit on the ground with the ball, but the rules are the rules.
Crew Chief Julian Scott, just before everything happens, getting clarification, and I think the bucket will count, and it is 8-point game nonetheless. Beira basketball. Namamade. Perry. Around the Mbia screen. Chirombe. Back out. Perry will catch and he'll shoot. Comes off the front eye, and the long rebound is contested for, and it looks like it's going to go against Beira. Yes, it is Perry who's going to pick up the foul, and importantly, while they are in the penalty, his third foul, and so big free throws coming up.
Yes, big free throw indeed as Iroegba heads to the free throw line. They're shooting at 85% on the charity line, and personally, he's at 100%, 1 for 1, and it's 2 for 2 now for the Nigerian international who's played for the West African nation and the past in qualifiers for the AfroBasket and the World Cup.
Well, misses the second. He would have brought it back within 2 possessions, still at a 3-possession game. Around the pick, leg extended, and Bia is called for the offensive foul. Well, it's been a big shift in momentum here on the floor, where SLAC fought back fantastically well in the third quarter, 69-76, and you can see lots of tension on both the benches, and Coach Luis Hernandez now trying to have a conversation with referee Uchenu. Nonetheless, 15.9 seconds, a chance for strategizing for Coach Zelko Zečević, as he's done, and SLAC have done amazingly well to fight back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great shift there. We know that basketball is a game of runs, and so far SLAC are enjoying their current run as Beira find themselves against the wall. It is a do or die for both teams that are yet to pick a victory here in the Nile Conference. There's so much at stake if they want to make history and head to the playoffs in Kigali.
Well, they have a couple of options on the bench, and talking about options, Robbie Knock, what have you got for us?
Yeah, Najail Young, he's trying to shake off. It's the same ankle injury that he had in the first game, where he just like turned it a little bit, but he was okay, and he carried on. He's got the same situation, same ankle, and he's saying, I got to finish this game. I got to finish this game. Even the doctor came over and said, sort of, you know, are you ready to come back on? He's like, I've got to shake it off first. You know, give me a bit of time. So he's desperate to get back on court.
Well, they'll need him in the fourth quarter, that's for sure. It's SLAC possession. Important possession. Iroegbu drives, cleared out by Mbia. Miller Jr. fires, and it won't go, and that is fantastic defense by Mbia. That's a big block in the context of this one. The drive in, swatted away. And that is, I wonder how big that will be down the stretch.
That's a huge moment in the game for Mbia. He's a BAL Elevate player, and just really great to be performing this way in this game.
69-76 at the end of 3. What a fascinating third quarter it was here in Cairo, as the fight back well and truly on. The Ghanaian champions working hard to stay in this one. They've trailed all game, but the momentum, one feels has shifted just a little bit, as 69-76 to start out here in the third quarter. 2 players doing it. Iroegbu alongside Miller Jr. leading the way for SLAC in the third. And Usher, fascinating it really was.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going into the third quarter, SLAC had just scored 6 points from turnovers. It's now 12 for them. You can see that they've been incredible with that transition of play. They want to continue to play good defense against Beira in this last quarter, and then help them get ahead of the Mozambican champions. It's not easy. They know that they're in the business end of the game. So much counts going forward.
10 minutes left in this fascinating contest between these two great teams. And 33 points SLAC scored in the third quarter to the 20 of Beira. Perry with the basketball. Mungwambe drives in between the trees and he'll draw the foul. Robbie Knox, courtside. I'm pretty sure there was a lot more happening in between the two benches. Anything for us, Robbie?
Coach Zetovic just talking about Sidibe and the importance of trying to deal with him, because obviously it's he's such a key player, but he's the big player, and he's the big player who gets into those awkward positions. So make sure that they take one step, you know, from their positions and their defensive positions, so that they cover a little bit more ground to cover the bigs like Sidibe.
He's got 4 fouls. Sidibe Gay has got 4 fouls. Mbia might have a big role to play for Ferroviario inside the paint. Mungwambe at the free throw line. 3 points. Make that 4. And 2 big free throws to start out the fourth quarter.
Talking about Mungwambe, 26 years old, started his career at Costa do Sol, where he played in until 2018 before joining this team of Beira, winning back-to-back league championships and coming here to the BAL, just using that experience today on the floor for Beira.
Drive in, Miller goes right hand, nice touch, and another good finish. He is doing the job on the floor offensively. 25 Miller Jr. points. Namamade, Fofana stays in front. Namamade couldn't get the shot up. It's well contested. Now they have numbers on the break. Up and in! Scooped up, scooped in. Highlight play.
It is a beautiful finish there from Mara. Timely from Iroegbu with that assist. And now there's pressure on Beira.
The bravery to put that up, given the context of the game, is still amazing. Mbia. His jump shot, no good from just inside the three-point line. Iroegbu, Fofana. Guarded tightly. And contact is called on the ground. Perry a little bit irate as he walks away.
Just got an update on the JL Young. Just had a little chat. We're gonna find out. I asked him if it's feeling a bit better. We're gonna find out right now. He's gonna come back on. He's just he's jumping up and down. He's getting ready to come back on. Little jogs and everything. So hopefully he can come back on and inject a little bit of that extra venom into this Beira team.
Talking about venom, Perry has 4 personal fouls, and that's gonna be very dangerous.
Big time shot coming in from Iroegbu. 23 points. And it is on 76-78, back within 2.
2-point game there. Incredible comeback from the Guinean champion, showing so much character.
The momentum well and truly shifted. The ball goes out of bounds. It's tapped. Namamade trying to find his way in, and it might be the moment. Another look at the catch and shoot, and that's from deep.
Yeah, amazing finish from Iroegbu. He's been knocking on that door from the 3-point line. He's the man with the hot hands tonight, and it's definitely paying off for the Guinean side.
5th connection from long range. Gay in. Gay with the finish.
Nice from the Lion Killer to sort of bring back Beira into this one.
Rebel. Now Mara will try the 3-ball, and it's good. That is a big shot from the 19-year-old.
It is a scissor celebration there from the Guinea Junior International.
Baseline drive. Blocking foul is called on Mara.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit difficult using the best line to play defense, but once there's movement on his feet in that paint, it's definitely a foul. But good eyes there from Iroegbu to feed Mara, who doesn't disappoint. And now we have a 1-point game cue.
We sure do. The pass. Mungwambe right into the body of Fofana, and now another quick call. will be the third team foul. Mungwambe was able to draw the foul from Fofana, picks up his second, only his second.
Yes, it's only his second, but it's 3 team fouls for SLAC with 7 minutes and a half to play in this last quarter. That's a bit of a danger for SLAC, but Mungwambe is on the line.
3 players with 4 fouls for Beira. Perry, Gay, Sidibe, Mungwambe at the free throw line. Mara and Nwabuzor in foul trouble for SLAC. They have 4 fouls apiece. Mungwambe splits it. 1-1. 2-point game. Miller driving, comes off the front iron. Scramble for the board, it falls into the hands of Perry. They have numbers here. Ferroviario, Mungwambe, long strides. Great work by Fofana to contest that layup. Back the other way. Uruguay holds 35-31. Let's go inside. Conde. Now, referee Julian Scott.
There's really so much pressure in this game. You can see that on the face of Coach Jelko. So much is at stake for both these teams as we see a change on the floor, Fofana going off and Nobuzo coming back. And fouled out. Mr. Maktage, the Lion Killer, is out of the game. That's a huge moment in this fixture queue.
Yep, that's the end of it for Gay. And really fascinating, they don't call the continuation on the play, so it will be 2 free throws for Conde and a chance to tie it up.
Wow, this is going to be really an incredible end to this game. And as Maktage heads to the bench with 5 personal fouls, Young, who's back on the floor, has 3. Will Perry, who's scored 22 points so far in this game, has 4 personal fouls, as well as Sidibe, who is now the huge player in that paint that will be targeted, of course, by SLAC.
Well, they have to target. They have no choice. It's right there in front of them. Okay. 15 points alongside his 8 rebounds. I won't be taking part in this one. That's a big free throw from Conde. Chance to tie it up. 7 minutes left. He gets both.
That is incredible there from Conde, who's scoring at 75% on the free throw line, and that's going to go a huge way in determining the eventual win of this game. It's 81 up. Tight.
Aggressive drive from Will Perry. He gets and is able to draw the foul. Our experienced professional player has played in Portugal and Bulgaria and will draw on all of his professional experience here, leading Beira from the point guard position. He gets the first. 4th team foul for SLAC. 3rd foul on Miller.
Will Perry's 100% on the free throw line. He knows that games like these are defined by margins, and he's not taking any chances as one of the leaders of this Beira side on the court.
Gets both, and games like these are also defined by moments and making those moments count. Perry gets the lead back up to 2. Eroegbo pulls up just inside, connects.
Wow, that's an incredible finish from Eroegbo. He's been shooting behind the arc and is really looking good at this point, and that's his 6th 3-pointer in this game.
Citibank. That's another great find from Perry, and he's going to try and use the resources he has available on the floor while they're still there. He's going to try and stay on the floor himself, but he finds Citibank inside the paint. Sidibe is able to draw the contact. Now, importantly, SLAC go into the penalty. That's their 15th foul with 6:17 left. That could be a big factor here down the stretch.
Yeah, it is Sidibe's first trip to the free throw line and makes it count. As you can see the pressure there on Luis Hernandez's face. He knows that they almost had this one in the bag, but they'll have to stay focused in the remaining minutes of the game.
Well, it's empty trip for Sidibe. 23, Mungwambe called for the foul. It's his third personal, and should be an inbounds from the sideline. And important that both these teams play through this. It's going to be an interesting last 6 minutes. Iroegbo keeps control now. It's Fofana. Fakes. It's tapped away by Young. Young controls. Looks for Perry into the hands of the point guard. He hands back to the Young.
It's going to be interesting to see how Will and Young control that ball as SLAC decide to put pressure man-to-man in that zone and in defense.
Perry for three! That is a big call. He called for the high pick from Sidibe, looked for his offense, and he makes the big shot.
That is his fourth three-pointer. Will Perry.
Miller, or rather Fofana, is right there. That's a big second chance point. Keeps it back within one.
But it is you score, we score, you score, we score. So the thing is who's scoring the threes and who's scoring the twos.
Limamari wants the basketball. Mungwambe, Perry, Fofana, matched up. Perry, working Perry. Pulls out for another three, back-to-back threes for Will Perry, and ice in his veins at this point. He's going to take all the responsibility down the stretch.
Well, you talk about ice in his veins. It is his seventh three-pointer in this game. It's a huge moment in the game to continue defining this gap.
Oh, big plays from the wide open Wapazor! This is fantastic three-point shooting by both of these teams. They are competing at every single level on the floor.
That's his second three-pointer, Nwabuzo. He's been knocking on that door and finally drops at the right moment in the game.
Oh, Perry just can't connect with Sidibe. Right option doesn't go to hands, just slightly behind. Couldn't hold the pass. The ball goes out of bounds, and whew, we got a break in the action here. 30 points for Perry, outstanding. His career high in the Basketball Africa League. It has been back and forth with Perry knocking down the three, Perry coming back up, hitting the three. We have been treated to some great Basketball Africa League action. 88-89, 4:16 left. Timeout call on the floor. Well, back to a lively battle on the floor in the now conference. SLAC trail Ferroviario de Beira by just a single point. They have fought back from just about 20 points down, and it's been fascinating viewing throughout. Timeout on the floor, and the action has been relentless.
Every possession counts going forward in this game. Iroegbu knows that there's so much at stake. He will try to run down that clock and get the best option to just stay within distance of Beira and perhaps also take the lead right now.
Miller, Mungwambe guarding Sidibe. Gonna get called for the foul. This could be a big moment. Miller gets the and one. Sidibe will pick up his fifth foul. And more importantly, Miller with a chance to make this a two-point game.
It's a huge moment in the game as Miller drives into that paint and foul and basket. Has another chance to go to the free throw line, and it's really incredible as we see Sidibe going off. He's fouled out exactly as Maktagaye, his teammate, sitting right next to him, and it's definitely going to be a defining moment in this game.
First lead of the game for SLAC. Big moment at the free throw line here for Miller Jr. 27 points he's got up to this moment.
And the man that comes on to replace Sidibe is Chirombe.
Completes the three-point play, and now 2-point lead for the champions of Guinea-Conakry. Robbie, we have a brief second. What's it like on the sidelines?
I mean, it's just intense. I'm like a twitching owl here. I can promise you that. Left, right, and centre. So much is happening all the time, and I'm just keeping an eye on both sides. But there's, you know, I think it's just a question of like being a little bit disciplined if you can, and trying not to lose key players at this crucial time, just like we saw with Sidibe.
And importantly, Will Perry still on the floor with his 4 fouls. The other two that were in foul trouble are no longer on the floor. Nwabuzor on the side of SLAC, Konde and Mara, 3 players with 4 fouls each, but Will Perry at the free throw line to shoot 3.
Well, it's been a very, very physical game for both sets of players, and Will Perry knows that SLAC are in the red, so still continue to drive into that paint, get those fouls, and see if they can convert on the free throw line. You can see the tension there on Coach Jelko's face. Still a 1-point game, Q. It's very, very close.
Importantly, Perry converts all 3. Irwegbu, he's feeling it as well. He connects from just to the side, and the lead changes now on almost every possession, and big-time shots by almost every player on the floor. Young calls for it. Miller guarding. Young gets up and under. Miller with the great defensive play, and then Young picks up the foul.
It is a silly foul there from Young. And both teams in the red. It's his 4th personal foul. It's been amazing for them on offense with 24 points, but with that foul, Miller will head to the free throw line.
Well, just really great defensive work. Young thought he had slid by using his footwork. The length and wingspan of Miller knocks the ball away, and then Young fouls out of frustration.
Yeah, Miller has converted 7 of his 8 attempts on the free throw line.
These are important shots for Dame Miller Jr. This is an important game for both teams.
He's really stood out for the Guinean champions. He's scored 28 points and 29 now with 8 rebounds, just 2 rebounds away from a double-double in what could be an incredible victory for SLAC.
Well, not that Will Perry has anything to say about it. Both these teams have been amazing. Pass to the corner. Mungwambe hits the 3. That is a big shot, an excellent pass from Perry to find the shooter open in the corner.
It's a big decision there, and for Mungwambe to convert timely in this game so far.
And Rebo right back at it, and they are going back and forth. 2 heavyweight fighters slugging it out down the stretch.
That's 29 points for Iroegbu. Big performance tonight.
Perry hits the 3 again. Oh my! Somebody stop that man.
The man with the hot hand, Will Perry, has driven everything on the offensive side, and that's his 8th three-pointer tonight. Amazing.
36 points for Will Perry. Iroegbu tries to reply. Long rebound. Picked up by Mungwambe. Now we are into the final 2 minutes on this one.
This is definitely the highest scoring game that we've seen in Season 3 of the BAL.
Perry for 3! Will Perry, 39 points. He is on fire.
Unstoppable performance there from Will Perry. 8 three-pointers. Nobody saw that coming. He's driving, he's getting into the paint, but when he has a chance from behind the arc, boom, clutch. He's been fantastic. And now Ferroviario de Beira become the second team in the BAL Season 3 to score more than a century. 101 for the Mozambican champions.
39 points from Will Perry. He is carrying the offense for his team, Ferroviario de Beira. Oh, we have seen some excellent long-range shooting, and he's been lasered in. That's how you do it. That's how you snipe from downtown, but that's also how you lead from the front. The point guard, the floor general. And right now, he's given his team a 4-point and a 2-possession lead. What fantastic play.
This is a fantastic performance, really, from Perry. He was told from a very young age that he's too small to play the game of basketball, but he's defied the odds. He's played incredible basketball overseas, and right now enjoying himself here at the BAL and really bringing so much hope to the people of Mozambique and making them smile. But there's so much tension. 1 minute 52 seconds to play. But looking at his last game, he scored just 7 points, and today 39 against the Guinean champions, 61% from the field. And wow, what an amazing perfection that he's had today behind the arc.
And importantly, if you look at the way that he's taken the shot from down the center to the variety boys, pull-up threes, really his speciality. And the record for points in the game, 41 points, Terrell Stockland has as the BAL current record holder, but Perry on the verge of breaking that with his 39. Wapuzo out of the timeout. But Irueku fires for Fanak, looking to put it back in, and now it's controlled here by Perry.
Talking about control, Beira will be trying to run down that clock, make sure they score on this possession.
Pressure for Fana, and that's smart play. They know with 1 minute 29 seconds left, each possession is vital. They're going to try and take as much time off the clock as possible and force their way to the free throw line.
Well, I don't think that Will Perry is the kind of player you want to send to the free throw line so far in this game.
Not with the kind of afternoon he's having, but important free throws again.
Yeah, he's 9 for 9 right now on the free throw line. He's 100% scoring there. But you're right. When you look at the game plan, SLAC have to make sure they use every second on the clock.
Well, he's tied at 41. That's a BAL scoring record. He's got the most threes in a BAL game. That's 9 of them. Perry has been great. And there's a foul call just off the ball. Iroekbu picks up his 4th personal. And that's a charge just happening off the ball contact.
That's a big moment in this game. It was very unnecessary. Just looking at the replay there, Iroekbu trying to set a charge, but it goes south from there, and Beira have possession.
Well, it's into the final 90 seconds. Lumamade, guarded by Iroekbu, splits it. Up he goes, the layup won't go, but they're on the follow and finish. Chirombe gets his first 2. Those are big 2 points. And now the lead up to 8.
A big moment for the 23-year-old Chirombe, who started his career at the club and just signed his first professional contract last year and made his debut in the Mozambican League.
Young in, scores, and lead up to double digits now. A little bit of comfort for Beira. Miller from the 3-point line. Cleaned up by Young.
Young seems to be leaving with 9 lives so far. He's a little bit limping on that ankle, but he doesn't care. At this point, he just needs to make sure they get that W, and everything else will matter thereafter.
Chirombe on the give and go, and that, I think, will be the exclamation mark on this one as Beira fight it out. And it's been a fantastic last 2 minutes, but this has been a standout individual performance from that man, Will Perry. One of the best individual performances we've seen in the Basketball Africa League in 3 seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Will Perry will be very proud of this performance tonight. He's equaled that all-time scoring record on the BAL.
And more importantly, Beira pick up their first win in the Nile Conference. Their backs were against the wall. I'm sure they saw the trip back home in their minds, but that's how you lead a team, and that's how you play down the stretch. Congratulations for Will Perry and Ferroviario de Beira, but SLAC credit to them, fought back from 20 points down to come back in this one. And we were treated to one of the best games we've seen in the Basketball Africa League.
Yeah, it's a huge moment for Ferroviario de Beira, the team from the coastal town that suffered from the cyclone Idai that literally took down their arena. They've not been able to replace it a couple of years down the road, but it's a huge moment for Mozambican basketball. Their fans will be celebrating not just in Beira, but in Maputo as well, the capital. They'll be very proud of this performance. And really also it's interesting to note that Chirombe was able to come on and finish the job that Makta Gaye and Sidibe started from the first quarter.
97-109, Ferroviario de Beira, SLAC of Guinea. The final score here at Dr. Hassan Mustafa Arena. Will Perry, the guy who picks up that individual accolade. What a great performance from him. And there's too many superlatives that one can attach to his name, but he really did stand out and play big time down the floor. I do know that Will Perry is standing by courtside, so we'll cross to Robbie.
Yeah, thanks very much. Will, first of all, I think the most important thing was just to get the win. So how important was that to get the victory over SLAC? A very determined performance out there tonight.
Yeah, like you said, you know, it's now we got 3 games. We think we can win. We need to do it. So we had to do what we had to do tonight. And I'm really thankful that we got the win because now we got a chance to go to Rwanda.
You do have a chance of going to Rwanda. You've got rid of the bigs. You've still got a couple of games to play. How important and what will that? How will that stir up and build your confidence after that victory?
Yeah, anytime you can win a game, it builds confidence. You know, we lost 2 in a row. We had the toughest teams first 2 games, which, you know, we kind of treated like, hey, if we can steal a win, we can steal one. If not, we need to really get ready and, you know, be strong for the teams that, you know, are at a level that we're at, you know. And today we got the win, man. We're confident now going to the next 2.
So a few BAL records were smashed today. Most number of threes ever in a BAL game. 9 for you, Will Perry. 100% from the free throw line and 41 points. Terrell Stoglin's record of 41. You matched it. How do you feel about that? I mean, does it mean a lot to you, or is it just you know, just figures?
Yeah, I mean, not really, to be honest. Like, I'm nowhere near the score Stoglin is, but anytime I can get hot from 3, I can put up the numbers, you know, like we saw today. I'd rather be a true-point guard, get guys involved, but today, you know, in the pick and roll, they backed up a little bit. I had to shoot. I got hot, so I kept going. But man, the numbers don't mean much. It's more about winning.
Just finally, you know, what will you learn from this game here, that third quarter, and how you battled to victory today?
Honestly, stay focused 40 minutes. Every team is good. You know, Cape Town and City Oilers are just like those guys. They're going to fight. They have talent, so we can't lose focus. We're up 20 and a half, and the second half was just not good enough, but we squeezed it out, thank God.
Well done, Will. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
The thoughts from Will Perry and a standout individual performance, 41, 8, 3, and 64% from the free throw line. That is surreal.
Yeah, that is Syria from the man from North Carolina. Incredible performance there, and really you can see how much this means to him. Not really about the 41 points, which is a BAL record, but the fact that they got that W. Now they can think about the remaining 2 games and how they can get 1 foot into the playoffs in Kigali. Huge moment for Ferroviario de Beira, who have been amazing here. It's a big win and a big moment for Mozambican basketball.
Well, Beira will be proud. Will Perry happy. And talking about individual accolades not meaning that much, but you really saw a standout play from the point guard. 109-97 the score. 11 of 20 they were from the three-point line. They distributed the ball pretty well at the 20 assists, and we've not seen that in the first 2 games, and maybe that will be, you can credit Al Ali and Petro in terms of the way they defended Ferroviario, but they got into their system tonight. They played some fantastic basketball. We saw some high-scoring basketball on both ends from SLAC and Ferroviario de Beira.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about that, you have to also know that this man played for 40 minutes. He did not come off the floor, Will Perry. That was very key for them. Of course, he'll have some tired legs going into tomorrow's free day, but it's a huge moment. It's a big disappointment for SLAC, considering that the way they lost to the Cape Town Tigers.
Yeah, they at least keep their competition hopes alive, and credit to SLAC because Anthony Miller Jr. with 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Ford Hart Iroigbo with his best game so far for SLAC. 11 of 22 he was from the field, 7 and 5 in terms of the assists. Najeel Young fought through an injury for 26 points and 11 of 13 shooting, 5 rebounds and 3 assists, and they were toe-to-toe. It was heavyweight jabs and hooks and uppercuts, and it was all amazing. And at the end of the day, we were treated to one of the best contests that we've seen. Petro de Luanda and the Cape Town Tigers do battle at 8:30 local time. That should be another fascinating game. The City Oilers and SLAC will resume battle on Tuesday, and then Cape Town Tigers and the Al Ali, the host, will close out Tuesday's action. That's after a rest day, but a lot to look forward to in the Nile Conference.
Yeah.
It's gonna have a look now at what this all means in terms of the standings, and importantly, Beira 1 and 2 now. Cape Town Tigers still sitting just there in the center of the table, 1 and 0, 2 and 0 for the two big teams, and SLAC 0 and 2, and so are the City Oilers. But there's still plenty of basketball. The Sahara Conference taught us that there's a lot to work for and there's a lot to play for. It's not all said and done. From Quinton Denason, Ashako Magisha, Robbie Knock, we sign off, and we'll be back just a little bit later. Tigers and Petro de Luanda.